The start of every training session should start with some mobility work. Most people think they need to do some, I don't know, world's greatest stretch and a couple of things like that, but to be honest, that's not actual mobility work. Mobility work means working joints through full ranges of motion, and this is really important because joints actually send more information to your brain than the muscles do. So you've got to make sure that the joints get as much information as possible pre-training so that you're all lined up and ready to go for the actual training. We're just going to start from the top down. I'm going to move all my joints in a number of different ways to get them as souped up and ready to train as possible, while also allowing my body to warm up at the same time. So I'm really killing two birds with one stone here. I'm going to start with the neck, but to start with, hands go behind your back, hands clasped together. This keeps your shoulders in one spot and makes your posture good. And now I'm going to focus on lifting my head up as high as possible and taking my chin to the chest. And for all of these exercises, we're going to do 10 reps. So this 4, 5, and we're going to work our way up to 10. Next exercise, we're going to go left to right. So my focus here again is on keeping my posture while turning my head around as much as possible in each direction. And then the last one of these is we're going to go ear to shoulder and trying to take my ear all the way over to my shoulder while lifting my opposite ear up as high as possible at the same time. And one more. And done. Next exercise, shoulders go round, so I want to take my shoulders as far back as possible, down as far as possible, forwards as far as possible, and up and forwards as far as possible, and turn that into big circles. The key here is that you have to use muscles to do this, go the other way, rather than just do this tiny little thing like this, which isn't doing anything. Big movements, making sure to actually contract the muscles in each direction. Now take one hand, big circles around, and what I want to avoid doing here is moving my entire body. I want to keep my body as still as possible while moving this arm around in the biggest circle possible. Do one more, and we'll go the other way. And swap arms. Probably hear the clicking in my shoulder. And the other way. Now both arms at the same time. For bonus points, cross your hands, so left over right one time, right over left the other time, and then the other way. Next exercise is for elbows. Make light fists. You want to brush your hands past your cheeks. Pull your elbows together as much as possible, and now hands out as far as possible on each one. And back the other way. Now we're going to go the other way. I'm going to reach into my armpits and reach back as far as possible. So this is internal rotation we're really working on here in the shoulders, plus the elbows, plus the wrists. And then back the other way. So reach back as far as possible, reach up into your armpits, and then rotate the hands out at the top so your thumbs are out as far as possible. And now we get to do the goofy stuff. Make light fists, wrists go up, open the hands, push palms down. So imagine you're grabbing hold of a rope, drag it up, open, push down. Now with my rope again, so I'm going to pull the rope apart and I'm going to pull it together. So now I've got lateral deviation in the hand, so I'm working my wrist this way. And then finally, hands open, I want to circle with my thumbs leading the circle. And then with my little fingers leading the circle. Now, time to really mess with people. I'm going to take this chunk and move it across as far as I can while keeping my hips in one spot and move my chest back this way. But now I'm going to turn this into a circle. So I have to go from here to here to here to chest back. And I'm going to rotate my ribs around my hips as much as possible. So when I'm back here, my shoulders are forwards and I'm hunched. And as I come forward, my shoulders are back and my chest is up and proud. And circle your rib cage around your hips and get your thoracic spine moving properly. If you can't do this, so for instance, if you look like this when you're doing this exercise, you have some issues, and we're going to go back the other way. Now, I'm going to take a slightly wider stance. I'm going to draw a circle around my feet with my hips, keeping my legs locked out. So I want hips to come forward as far as possible while keeping my legs straight, to the side as far as possible, back as far as possible, all while keeping legs straight. So the movement is really just coming here from the hips. Back the other way. All right, next step, one hip at a time. I'm going to draw circles with my foot. This is pretty good. A couple of months ago, I wouldn't have been able to stand on this foot. And we're going to do the other side. To help you balance, find a spot on the ground, keep your eyes on the spot. You'll find that way easier than if you're moving your balance around, as in shifting your focal point. Do one more, and back the other way. Again, that's excellent. I would have been able to stand on one foot not long ago. Now, the next one, I'm going to do this with my leg, but I'm going to do it while lifting my leg up in the air. So what I'm doing is I'm turning my thigh. It just so happens that my knee kind of comes along for the ride. I'm not just shaking my foot as I lift my leg up and down. Then we're going to do the other side. Oof. If you get a couple of pops out of your knees, don't be surprised. Do one more. All right, feet go together. Imagine your feet have got four corners. So I've got an inner corner, an inner heel, an outer heel, and an outer toe. I want to keep all four corners on the ground all the time while drawing the biggest circle possible around my feet with my knees. So I go from legs bent to legs straight at the back. And then go the other way. We're going to do the same thing with legs apart. So now I'm going to draw circles that go in. Again, keeping my feet on the ground at all times. And the other way. And one more. All right. Make your stance much wider. Just start with a couple of easy kind of side lunges that we're going to turn into a Cossack squat here, which means my foot comes up and off the ground. That's 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Our final check, the squat. I'm going to start with feet roughly under armpits, toes turned out slightly, 10 squats, just to make sure everything's actually feeling good, fully warmed up before we even get to training. You should be ready to go into your first warm-up exercise right now.